how do we get more agents here?
Have a good meeting.
Breakfast burritos.
You know, I've done
Breakfast
that
burritos
before.
and do it.
And that wasn't nice, they said it real close to the camera.
I heard it.
Hey, the good ones
Sit-
are here.
We have awesome meetings.
Richard's here.
We have awesome meetings.
There you go.
If I'm here, it's an awesome meeting. There you go.
It's a serious question.
What was the question?
Why do I do this? All right, forget it. I'm gonna go for a run.
Uh-oh.
Do a poll.
That's what that is.
I need my phone.
Judy knew to cover her ears.
That's a good.
That was done with.
That was a good one, wasn't
That
it?
was.
What's the frustration behind that? Thank you.
You got that right. All right, on-time drawing, what do we have? We have,
Wow.
lots of stuff. And you know what? Odds are good today.
Yeah. I should have been
Just
able to
just
find
got
out.
that, huh? Sometimes my jokes go over people's heads. I guess most of the time. All right, we got 14. And how many blinks? All right, what number?
3.
7.
14.
It'll be here today.
Is it?
Yeah, it'll be here today.
Not working properly.
No.
You won, Jennifer. Does that mean I have to put it all back? If it was like Richard or something, I'd say, hey, come put it all back in. But you know what? I'm gonna be nice to Jennifer.
I already told her. Oh, you did? Yeah.
Lots of swag. Congratulations.
Nice bag.
Oh, wait.
Thank you.
Forgot one.
Forgot one.
Hey, Mark.
Oh, okay.
All right. I got about 5. All right, Stacia. Our breakfast sponsor, Stacia, with Old Republic Home Protection.
Oh, I got an applause. I'm gonna hold that with me all day.
Must be the cuties.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, or maybe those really cute cookies.
Or, yeah. Maybe.
So, good morning, everyone. I hope you're wonderful. I'm kind of liking it was a little overcast this morning. I don't know about you if you like that or not, but yes. I just wanted to come out today and say, you know, I don't know if you know a little bit of the history on home warranties, but in the early 70s, they were started by a real estate agent. There's not somebody that's specifically accredited to it, but they started it to reduce their risk. So they saw a need and they created it, and then eventually companies, like full-on companies, started picking up on the idea. So, you know, the 3 things that we as a home warranty are, regardless of the company, is it's risk reduction for real estate agents, for those after closing woes, concerns, potential failures. It is budget protection for your buyers, and it's peace of mind, hopefully for all sides of the transaction if you include a home warranty. None of us can anticipate everything. Inspectors can only see so far behind walls and into things and under, you know, through concrete. So to give people a little bit of peace of mind should there be a failure can be a big risk reduction for you. And just as a reminder, you know, not all warranties are created equal, so I urge you to look at the terms and conditions. Or if a company doesn't list their terms and conditions, question it. Why aren't they telling you what they do? And you know, we can all do, like, there's a company, it's not in this office, but they highlight that you, with no limit on AC, you know, but when you look at their terms and conditions, you can't find anything about it. So we also have no limit on, like, HVAC components, so heating and cooling components. And we have no limit on refrigerant, but we do have limits on permits and code upgrades and modifications, things that are not the physical AC, but need certain things in order to get it signed off on, to get a permit or what have you. So question if there's not a full disclosure there. Our brochure is our full contract. There's nothing in there that tells you anything other than what we do. It's not to interpret, it tells you what we do and what we don't cover, and then, you know, moving up in plan. And so make sure you have a relationship with the person, the company that you're utilizing. If they don't have a local representative, that you have a point of contact. I mean, I'm here as one of the local reps for Old Republic, but, you know, make sure that you have somebody that you can ask questions to. I will answer anything. I don't have the answer to everything, you know, but I will answer any question you have. I will give you real life examples of claims that I maybe currently have going on or have in the past, to just hopefully set the right expectation. Because if somebody says, get a home warranty, it'll cover everything, and none of them do. So then here's where the home warranty is. How do we bridge that gap? Your client's unhappy, you're unhappy, you're unhappy with me. I can't cover what we don't cover. And so, you know, just setting the right expectation out the gate. And because you all sell homes, I'm really happy to sell the home warranty, or at least explain it. And if they end up not going with me, such is life, but at least hopefully they have the right expectation of what they're getting, or, you know, what they're not getting. And, you know, I just believe in big transparency. So if you aren't working with someone that you like, trust, or have confidence in, I'd love the opportunity to sit down and talk to you and see if I'm a good fit for your business.
All righty. Thank you, Stacia. Thank you for the breakfast, and thank you always being there for the agents and their home warranty.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Rev up's coming up. So we have tomorrow is Finding Motivated Sellers and Preparing to Win the Listing. Jeff is the instructor on that. Module 9 next Wednesday. I'm the instructor, and 10, and then we're going to change up the way we do it. So stay tuned for that. Food truck out there. It is. They will have a variety of items. Here's how strange my mind works sometimes. So I'm looking at this morning.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you said that out loud.
Okay, sorry.
They got tacos here, birria, masala, chicken, shrimp, and they list them all separate. And I look over here, they have quesadillas, but there's steak, birria, chicken. Why not list those separate too?
They ran out of room.
That's just my mind. Blood drive, coming up next month, October 14th. I've already signed up. I don't know if they want my blood, but they're gonna get it. October 14th, there's the QR code to sign up, and there's a stand-up back there somewhere as well. Next Thursday, we're going to have Dennis and Lisa in, and we're gonna be talking mold, which is a big issue, and we need to know what's going on with mold, and they're both really good. They'll have some gross pictures for us to look at too.
There's one.
First time.
Perfect timing. Anthony,
Alright.
what, you got anything for us?
Yeah, so, I'll keep it pretty brief for you guys today, but every year we do a thing at Rock Title, it's called Rocktoberfest. We like to give back to charities, and different events, so we are organizing an event for the Ronald McDonald House. We'll be doing some charity work there, so I will be sending out an email blast to you guys if you guys would like to join. It's a great cause, and I think it'd be a great event for everyone to join in on. In addition to that, same thing goes with classes. We have a lot of CE classes coming up, a lot of trainings and workshops. We're actually collaborating with John Morgan with Epic Lending for some CE classes. So next week we'll be hosting one in Green Valley. And I know we'll have a couple here throughout the rest of the month. So definitely keep your eyes and ears out for that. I'll send out some emails for that as well. In addition to that, same thing goes, anything marketing wise, I'm usually here every Wednesday and Thursday. My door and my office are right there. It's always open. So if I'm not in a meeting, you guys can always stop me, ask me any questions for any marketing assistance that you'd like. Same thing with putting a face to the name with the escrow officer. If you guys don't know any of those lovely escrow officers that we do have on our team, I'd love to get you guys introduced to one of them and have a face to their name so you can call someone at a moment's notice and get those escrow questions answered for your clients. But besides that, that's just about all I have for you guys today. I'll be here the rest of the day as well, so if there's anything you need, let me know.
Do we have a date on Oktoberfest?
Oktoberfest, I believe, I want to say it's in a couple weeks, so I'll definitely send it out. I apologize, I don't have that date on my mind right now, but I will send out an email blast for
I
that.
think
And you
it's
guys-
October 22nd.
Yes, actually it is, the 22nd and 23rd, it'll be a 2-day event, so, I will go ahead and send out that email blast for you guys, and if you guys would love to join, we'd love to see you guys there.
Awesome.
Alright, thank you guys.
Also, speaking of October 22nd, I might as well just start promoting this right now. Who was here when my sister was out here several months ago? She's coming again, October 22nd. We're working on her agenda, what she's gonna talk about, which always good. She was just asked to go speak at a university, wow, one of their sports teams, and she's really good into sports. I don't get it, but I'm proud of her. So anyway, we don't have John Morgan here. Who we have is Edna, who does not look like John at all.
Thank God.
So Edna, how long have you been with Epic now?
I've been with Epic for like 2.5 weeks.
All right, cool. But how long have you been a lender?
I've been a lender since 2002.
Okay, so a few years. You
Yes.
didn't know this was gonna be a Q&A, did you?
So the old company I was with, I was there almost 9 years. FBC Mortgage, Acrisure, they're both the same. They're owned, FBC is now owned by Acrisure. But anyway, I met Ricky, and for months he was begging me to join his team. And finally one day he said, I think we went back and forth 4 times with the agreement, the employee agreement. Finally I said, okay, let me try it. The only reason why I went is because of you guys. I think that there's more opportunity here. There's more buyers and more agents relationship I can have with you guys.
So she's been hanging out at the Green Valley office for the last 2.5 weeks. You're gonna hang out here more
Yes.
often, is that what I hear?
Yes, I'm gonna hang out here. I'm gonna divide my time because John needs me. I think
Maybe
John.
we need you.
Yeah, oh, yeah. I hope
The hell
so.
with John.
So as you all know, you met John, he's very knowledgeable. The system, I'm learning it, but I had to learn it in a week. I have told the company that I'm not gonna go out and meet any agents until I know how to run a loan, full credit, and learn the system, and I did. Because I can't sit in the computer all day learning their system. So anyway, long story short, the reason why I gave you guys this is any loan officers comes to me and goes, well, do you do down payment assist? It's not, we do it, but what I do it's different from probably other loan officers, is when I meet your client, I qualify them. If they fit any of these down payment assists, I would show them. Because it's not all about, to me, it's not all about the commission, it's about you having a good relationship with them and also me. Because if I give them the down payment, even though they had $50,000 in the bank, that's good for them because now they have money to buy other stuff. So I'm not gonna limit because they have the money, because sometimes the down payment assistance programs, the rates are just a tad bit different. But I do that, and so I wanna let you know I put the rates in here for the HIP, because you guys can Google the rates if you guys wanna do this every day. I don't know if you guys do that. But you can go to this website, and then we have the Shinoa program. Shinoa is, I've done it a few times, but it's not as easy as HIP, or Home is Possible, but it's doable. I know that you guys already heard of the Hopper program that John talked about. This is the one with we give you a loan FHA, and then we put solar.
With the solar, yep.
Yes, that's becoming very popular right now. So VA, I've done a lot of VA. I'm very creative. When I meet your client, I ask for everything up front. Because once I know that, because when they say, well, I have 100,000, but it was deposited yesterday. So all those things, I do my due diligence to your borrower, because when I give you a pre-approval, I ran the DU on that. The DU is important, but even though some loan officers run DU, but they don't get the other stuff. I do. I calculate income to the T, because sometimes $15 is $15 added to the DU. Like I had one yesterday from another broker. No matter what I do, I can't pass 46% back in ratio, even though she had a 708 FICO. So when somebody says I have perfect credit, doesn't mean anything anymore with Fannie and Freddie. So I just want to introduce myself. I know John has been here, he's great, he's been with the company for almost 3 years, but I know I can do loans. So if you guys need me, I need to create a relationship with you guys. So I'm gonna promote you to your client, and hopefully you'll promote me as well, because we have to work together to close that loan for you. And what I need to tell you guys is Ricky. I don't know if you guys met Ricky.
Ricky's the boss in it.
Yeah.
Ricky gave me his assistant. That means she's been with companies, she's been with CMG for 15 years. And she is so good. What I'm doing right now is just give her the stuff. Once I qualify your borrower, she takes over, so then she uploads everything so it doesn't bug me down. Because I need you guys to trust me and get me loans and give me clients. We can put them on the list, so when they're ready to buy, then you guys will know I'm connected with people with credit repair. They've done it for 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and when they're ready, you're ready to show them homes.
So Edna's office is right across the way there. If you have any questions, feel
Call.
free to reach out to her.
And
You
call
have her
me, I'm gonna
contact
give you guys a
information.
card, please call me. I've worked with him
Already.
Awesome.
already,
All right,
We had open house last weekend.
nice. Thank you,
Yes.
Edna.
Thank you.
And welcome. All right, stats. Let's not talk about stats, because we'll be talking enough about stats here in a minute with Stephen Thomas, who is here, literally just flew in from Orange County. Your arm's tired?
Yes.
So, welcome Stephen Thomas. Let's get you, put that here. Who's heard Stephen talk before? For those of you who have, testing. For those of you that haven't, you're in for a treat. A lot of great information.
Do you need me to fix it?
No, I'll figure it out.
Are you sure?
Detective advice. Press the green button. Second. Take the screen.
There we go. All right. So I'm gonna start off with some fun photos. I didn't see the hands. Who in here has how about not seen me? Excellent. You rookies, that's awesome. So I want to start off some fun photos, levity, before we dive into economics. Or you're into economics. How's this guy going to present economics and it'll be fun? But I promise you, it'll be fun. You'll learn something here. So here's some fun photos. This was at a Starbucks. I took a picture of it because Steve. That's not how you spell my name. I'm Steve. I've never seen it butchered before in my life, and I thought this was good, so I had to show you At the end of this month, AOL is shutting down its dial-up service. I don't know if you guys knew that. So if you guys are on dial-up, you want to make it to the 21st century and probably CC management. So when the client asks you how negotiations are going, this is how it is. It's hard. It's tough out there. How about the heaviest objects in the universe? The sun, neutron star, black hole, and the regret after losing the home you love to another buyer because you slept on it too long. That's serious, especially buyers when they're making that very first offer. Not a short sale, not an REO. This was taken from the Great Recession. I thought this was kind of like
Because they were all short sale scenarios back then.
Yeah, they really were. Because everybody asks if there's going to be a wave of foreclosures. I laugh, I giggle. It's nothing like what we experienced before. And when you really want to mess with your OCD neighbor, this is a fun picture. How about this one? This is somebody you want to work with. Results Realty. Seriously. Can you imagine being the seller and seeing that afterwards, going, oh my gosh. Hey,
Well, if they didn't figure it
obviously-
out before the lockbox got put on, shame on them.
Yeah, right? Presentation must have been incredible. This is, these are MLS photos. This is fun. I love bringing you MLS photos because this is what we refer to as functional obsolescence. Remember that term?
Yep.
We're getting our license. This is also an MLS photo.
That's cute.
Cute. Maybe an Airbnb, but I don't know. This too, another awesome photo. That's Look at the stove. Look at these double ovens.
I mean, that's a good stove.
That's a
Right.
nice store.
Right.
And there are some people, and when I do these in rooms where they're big rooms filled with agents, somebody says, "I like that." They go, "Yeah, I'd move there."
I
I like
take
that
a
color.
stove.
Seriously, right? You just see, you know what happens when you get this listing. You're going, uh-oh. How do I price this
Was
out?
that
How do I tell
mirrors
them what
on
they
the
need to do?
ceiling?
What's that?
Was there
Mirrors
mirrors
everywhere.
on the
Oh yeah,
ceiling?
mirrors on the ceilings. Mirrors everywhere.
Jeez.
And that's could be Vegas, right? This is not a lie. See, MLS says Northwest End. Nevada Realtors, NV Realtors.
No.
So Northwest though. So that's probably Reno area, I guess. So my introduction is I'm a quantitative economics decision science major from UC San Diego, sister school of UCLA. We just don't have football. Been doing this for over a third of a century. Orange County native, Cap Valley High School grad. I do have 9 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, top producer. True. And I brought my kids, she brought her kids. We had them all the time.
Oh.
And then I adopted hers, and she adopted mine. And then we had this guy. He started 2nd grade this year. And that kid over there, he graduated Washington State University 2 years ago and came to work for us, and absolutely love him. If you've ever listened to our podcast, he's the one doing the interviewing of me, and I don't see the questions prior. He's the one that said I needed a podcast. It's fun working with a kid that loves economics, because my wife doesn't really like it. So now I have somebody to talk to that I'm related to. It's pretty cool, because that's all I like is that hockey and my family. And that's our daughter. She is the oldest. She is married, and she brought us this awesome creature. Yes.
Oh.
Rowan. That's a lot of fun. It's just as advertised. Awesome. She comes in the door and I'm a rock star. So this is our, we've been all over the press, and Reports in Housing, your local real estate snapshot. This is our company. And what it is, I developed this back in the 90s when I had buyers and sellers that I worked with, because they said the weirdest things, as well as my own family, friends, neighbors. Everybody has an opinion when it comes to real estate. And it's often so far-fetched and off-base that I just like to properly set expectations based upon data. So I'm trying to cut through the noise. Nowadays, because I got in the 90s, nowadays it's worse because we have YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X. Don't even go to X, it's awful. And it's just, these are horrible places to cultivate real good information, especially if you don't know who it is that's delivering it and what their pedigree is. So I'm trying to cut through that noise. A lot of the people listen to that stuff, come to my channel, listen to it, and they go, "You're so wrong," yet I've been so right for such a long period of time because you can't refute the data. And so there are narratives out there. I'm just trying to cut through them with the power and strength of bringing data. And this is just, you know what, invest in your businesses. This is what this is. It's about investing in your business. It's not that expensive. $20 per month is like going to Starbucks a couple of times nowadays. And it's just, it's a real difference maker. 1 out of every 3 agents in Orange County has the report. And I brought it to Clark County. It's growing fast, and but it's still a difference maker because there's not a lot of agents that have it yet because we've only brought it a little over a year now. So it's just another tool in your tool chest, but it really will set the stage. You could do one thing, get it to every buyer and seller and send it to everybody. But what we do is we don't focus on closed sales data, but in the middle of October, I will talk about closed sales data for September because I'm going to show you analytically, data-wise, that you'll net less if you reduce the asking price. If you reduce the asking price, you net less. You actually throw away money because you only have one shot at a first impression, and you blow it by pricing it too high and you come down. It's not as exciting. It's not as exciting unless you really started to really wholesale the price out there, but there aren't that many sellers that are willing to do that. So we don't focus on closed sales typically, but we do provide it. Instead, I want to look out the windshield, talk about Economics 101, supply and demand. Supply is available number of homes to show your buyers today, and demand is a snapshot of pending sales activity last 30 days. So those are changing all the time, and that's kind of like what we do is we take that supply and demand and come up with something called expected market time, and that's an absorption rate. The absorption rate based upon pending sales rather than solds. So it gives you the true speed of the market. I'll give this, and this will be better than days on market. Days on market is a horrible statistic to gauge how fast the market really is. There's a lot of homes that are sold off market, placed in the MLS, and they have 0 days on market. And so that brings everything skewed low. And a lot of people have instantaneous success. And you know, the ones that come on and they blow out the market, but everybody else is languishing. So they're skewed artificially low. Plus they pull their homes off the market, come back on, and now they're active. That's not, they don't show you cumulative. That's not what you're really you're talking about. It's good for each individual property, but I'd throw it out if I was communicating it to sellers or buyers to properly set expectations. And anyways, use my expected market time, which is typically, it's really high for this area right now. It's taking a lot longer. And if your average days on market and median is way less, you show that and you say, this is what I do, but this is what the market is. So that there's this discrepancy so that they know that it's gonna take longer. It's not gonna be instantaneous success. But if they listen to you and price the property right and do all the things you ask them to do, they can have instantaneous success even in this market. So we have, these reports are used for, what is going on here? Please. For buyer-seller consultations, to get price reductions. It is for to get buyers off the fence and stop talking about the ridiculous things that they talk about. And it is to close more transactions by properly setting expectations. So hang on just a second. If this is gonna do this, it's gonna drive me nuts, so just bear with me for a second while I close down anything else that's in the background. Bear with me, apologize. Things open at the same time. Cause a problem. Alright. So, we have reports that talk all over SoCal, the Bay Area, Vegas, and Phoenix. And we brought Vegas and Phoenix on a year ago last May. And so people say, so what do you do with the report? Well, get it in front of every buyer and seller. That's what I talked about. It is to have it at your open houses. It's to farm with it and get it to your sphere of influence. And These are the reports. Now, keep in mind, today, unfortunately, I'm gonna give you way too much information. You're not gonna like understand everything. You're gonna go, oh my gosh, Stephen, stop. That's not the way my reports read. But what I'll do is I'll give you a copy of this presentation. I'm gonna give you some slides that you need to hang on to and that you can actually utilize in your businesses right now. But, and I'll let you know when those slides hit. But I focus on one thing at a time with our reports, and they come out every couple weeks. So this will paint the way the year has gone, and we focus on one thing and talk about just the one thing, and just keep it on that. And then there's a section for what's going on with supply, available homes, demand, last 30 days of pending sales activity, and expected market time. We also have luxury in there, in case you have luxury paragraph. And then we also talk about high-rise here, which is a really sluggish market here, but we added it because it's easy to add, so you have that. And then there's a bunch of charts and things like that that are below it. But really, the meat of it, you can actually use one of the links and just have this main section, just like this, the Dole kickoff, and send that off to everybody if you wanted to, because we have a lot of ways to repurpose it. But this is a Dole kickoff. That's the way the year started. We were above 7%, and we felt this isn't going to be the best year. That was it was the opposite of last year when we had lower rates. We thought this is going to be a great year, and then everything petered out last year as the year progressed. But that was the beginning of this year, and then more seller competition. That's what we've been dealing with for most of this year, and as the year has progressed, there's been even more seller competition. And then foreseen wave. So I talk about this all the time. Once we get down, we're now finally below 6.5%. We're starting to see some movement in pending sales activity. You might not feel it out there, but we can see the trends. And the longer we stay here, we were there 47 days last year. We're there. We just started below that 6.5% at the beginning of this month. If we stay there for a long period of time, you'll see it in pending sales. And I want to stay there long enough so we start off 2026 with below 6.5%. It would make a totally different spring compared to what we dealt with this year if we were below 6.5%, which is actually our base case. And I'll talk about that at the very end. So accurate pricing is crucial. This is the one that we do twice a year. I told you mid-October, we're gonna talk about you reduce the asking price, you net less. And then welcome to a buyer's market. It's kind of a buyer's market. It has everything to do with just more and more homes coming on the market. Pending sales activity hasn't changed that much, but the number of available homes has. So it's just a supply and demand scale. You guys were going up like crazy in price a couple of years ago, last year a little bit more, but this year it's more balanced, and we keep throwing more inventory on there. And it's now starting to tilt a little bit in the buyer's favor, and especially in some price ranges. And so will prices plunge? The answer is no. I'll explain that later. The buyer's roadmap, I wrote this because even if it's a sluggish market, there's homes that sell instantaneously. And you guys know what that is. That's where you have a home that comes on the market, and they've got their app out, and everybody has an app, and they're looking at their phones, and they look at it in the morning, they look at it during lunch, they look at it during breaks, they look at it in the evening, they look at it when they're going to bed. Constantly looking at it, anything new that comes on. When something new comes on and this thing has all the bells and whistles, did everything, smells right, looks right, and is priced right, they want to go see it like instantly. They want to see it, but the problem is when one of those comes on, there's other buyers that are out there, then 5 people want to see it at the same time. Now you have 5 people, and they go, oh my gosh, I really like this house, they want to write an offer on it. So you have 5 offers on it and 1 seller. Who does that favor? The seller. You have a supply and demand of 1 home. Doesn't matter if the rest market's sluggish. Then all of a sudden it goes above asking price by, a couple $1,000s, and people are going, I'm not going to pay above asking price. Well, then you're not going to get the property, because chances are one of those 5 will. It might as well be you. Let's see what the difference is in payment for that extra $2,000 that you're having a hard time with. Sorry. See exactly what that is. So that's why I wrote this report. And then the fall market takes a turn. This is the most recent report that came out Wednesday, last night. And that's because the market is a little bit different because we're below 6.5%, kind of like last year, and a lot of people don't expect it, but the market could actually get a little bit better. Not so much in Vegas, because you guys have this snowbird mentality, so does Phoenix, and so does Coachella Valley, but it's actually not true. You want to place your home on the market during the spring. That's when the most activity happens. I'll show you that later. So reportsonhousing.com, that's where you go to subscribe, and it's $20 per month or $200 per year. You do get a month free. So my thing is why doesn't everybody just sign up for the report and then cancel at day 29. I don't care. I have two Generation Zs that work for me, and they're the ones that have to do the cancellation. So actually just test drive it and say, I don't want it. We had one guy test drive it so many times, like 7 different times. He kept on doing this over and over again because he really liked the report. We had to put in our terms and conditions that you can't do that, more than 3 times. So I do have these with me. They stay on my person. I'll actually be back home at 5:00 p.m. We'll get you the report first thing tomorrow morning, and I shred it, and it just stays with my little person. I don't have it. I have my own little office through my master bedroom, and you can totally trust me. We've been doing this for a long time. I listened to a podcast on the plane. I'll listen to another podcast on the way back. My junk food of choice is economics and stats. I love it. I absolutely cannot get enough of it. So that's what drives me. So understand that that's what you're tapping into here. I'm going to give you fun economics lessons. That's what I do. And we have an economic model we follow. It's a progression model because it's constantly changing. There's new inputs all of the time. So the first section we're going to go into is Federal Reserve and mortgage rates. Everybody has this big opinion about the Federal Reserve, and very few people out there actually understand how the Federal Reserve really works. And they think it's one person. It's not. He's just the head, and he's going to be done in May. He can stay on. They never stay on, so he's not going to stay on. And but he was installed by President Trump during his first term, and now, of course, what happens is now he's not doing exactly what the administration wants. So he's been in the hot seat since the start of this year. And but like I said, he's only one member of it. There's a whole bunch of members. As a matter of fact, there's 19 that actually talk about where they think rates should go, and they do that every other meeting. But they meet, and this is what it looks like. And then they talk about, okay, what are we going to do with the short-term rate? By the way, the short-term rate is an overnight banking rate, not what we do in this room, 30-year mortgages. That's why everybody thinks when they cut that interest rates come down. I'm here to tell you that's not reality. It's already baked into the system when they do the cuts. Know that. So for now on, don't look at rates. Matter of fact, say rates might go up today. And that's what they did this the last week when they met. That's what they did last year when they did a 0.5 point rate cut. They actually went up. And they kept going up higher and higher, if you remember last year after they did a 0.5 point cut. Then they did another cut. They did another cut. And it went up a full percentage point, mortgage rates. So understand that mortgage rates behave differently, and I'll explain that. But there are 12 voting members that actually vote on what they do with that short-term rate every single meeting. And there are 7 that are installed by the President of the United States. There are 5 that are regional that are actually installed by a board of directors. And these 5 are rotating, not New York, but these 4 over here rotate. Cleveland and Chicago, every other year they get a vote, actually have a vote. They vote on where they think rates should go, but they don't get a vote on short-term rates just once every 2 years. These are once every 3 years. Just because it's smaller regional markets. So, I don't know why they keep doing that, but.
So why does New York not?
New York's big. And that's the way it's been since the beginning of time, so. But I want everybody to understand the way that it works. You actually, for them to make a interest rate decision, they need 7 out of the 12 members. Out of all of these 12, they need 7 out of the 12 to vote to go up or down. And if they want to go down more and all that stuff, they have to have 7 out of 12 that want to do that. So, and they like unanimity. This last time they had unanimous other than one person, the guy that just was brought on. But they need, it's 7 out of 12. If they have 6 out of 12, it's a tie, it stays the same. Doesn't even move. So one person, which Jerome Powell is up here, does not make a difference. It doesn't, because they're all pretty much doing everything cohesively. Lisa Cook, she's been in the hot seat, but she's actually dovish. I mean, which means that she's conciliatory. She wants rates to come down. But the administration's trying to make an example out of Lisa Cook. They've actually bumped it up to the Supreme Court, and they want them to listen to it because she's able to stay on right now via the courts. And then there's Adriana Kugler. You don't even know who she is, but she was on there. She actually was up in January, and she already resigned. We don't know what the conspiracy is behind that, if she did something wrong with her loan or something like that. I don't know, which is actually funny because she didn't actually, knowing her and listening to her, she just didn't like the pressure that the Fed was under. And so she actually was gone, and Stephen Moran, he was installed. He's actually still with the White House. He's taking the leave while he's doing this position. He's supposed to go back in January, but we'll see what happens. Now, they meet 8 times. That's it. Interest rates, the short-term rate goes up or down or stays the same 8 times. That's it. So if you look at it, they keep it, they hold it for all that time. And this year they've done nothing until we got to September. All these, they held it. But what happens to interest rates during that time period? They're all over the place.
Right.
So know that interest rates go where they think the Fed needs to go. And even if the Fed was fixed, they'll still go where they think the Fed should have gone if there was a normal Fed. Because it's investors that invest. It's not they don't buy it if it's packed a certain way, because they have to invest in the economy. So they meet eight times. Every other meeting in the yellow is when they talk about what they're going to do with rates for the rest of this year, for next year, and even the following year after that. So, and you can see that, these are called dots, and then every other meeting, that's the one that they did in September, they do it again in December, then they do it in March, they do it in June, and then September. It keeps to every other meeting. These dots are where they think interest rates should be. This person was saying interest rates should actually stay the same for the rest of the year. These are saying that they should do that point rate cut. That's what they ended up doing, is that first rate cut. And this person right here, which is just this weird dot way down here, they should cut, was the new guy that was just newly installed 2 weeks ago, Stephen Moran. So know that the rest of the Fed's going, that's not proper policy. They're not really buying that, and he's on his own little island. Even if they installed a new Fed chair that is like him, it would be a chaotic Federal Reserve. That's not what the United States or the world wants, especially in economics land. So, and know that if you keep cutting over and over again, the last time we had somebody that had that kind of pressure to cut was Richard Nixon and Arthur Burns. And he actually wrote that he cut because Nixon forced him to cut, and he wanted to do it, so he met with him and he did exactly what he wanted. So the short-term interest rates for like automobile loans and equity line of credit and all this credit card debt, those went down. The long-term stuff, what we do in this room, went up 1% per year. They kept on going higher and higher because the long stuff, if you're an investor, now that you know what they're doing, you're going, I don't buy it. The rest of the economy is not showing you that. So we had inflation going out of control at the same time that they were cutting rates, and that's not what you're supposed to do, Federal Reserve. Now, they have a dual mandate. There's somebody that said they have a 3 mandate and 1 is low interest rates. Well, if they take care of this dual mandate, we'll get low interest rates. And what it is maximum employment and proper pricing, not pricing that's going out of control. They like 2% inflation per year because it's a rate that really works for the economy. Now, in September of 2025, that's this year, the first Friday of every month, they released the jobs report. They released the jobs report at the start of September 1st, and this is it. Guess when the next one comes out? Next Friday, week from Friday. And that is a huge report, because this one was a huge report, because after this, we had interest rates coming down nicely. Matter of fact, we had a jobs report that had all these revisions, and then the administration fired that gal that was head of the BLS, which he should not have done, because it actually, rates that day came down. It actually came down that day. And they're very transparent anyway, so they're not political, they're like me. I want you guys all to know, everything I'm talking about today is economics land. I hate politics. I hate it. And when people when they start coming into my lane, that's where I just get on my soapbox and tell you why you can't do certain things, because it doesn't really work. That's not how the system works. That's what I'm all about. I'm here to tell you exactly the way from a pure economics standpoint. So the number of jobs created was only 22,000, and there was a small revision to June, and it was actually negative 13,000. It was a negative jobs print. We were actually losing. And so that's where we started to see rates come up a little bit. But then we had CPI come out since, and CPI, this is inflation, has been on the rise. And this is the issue. Their dual mandate is you're supposed to have prices under control, but we have prices that are rising. We're supposed to have maximum employment and a good job market, but it's starting to weaken. So it's pulling them in both directions. They want to keep a lid on prices, but they also need to save the jobs market. They will jump into the jobs arena as soon as jobs really break. And we haven't really got there yet, but still, adding 0 jobs per month is not a good thing. But firms aren't firing, but they're not hiring. That's the deal that's out there right now. If you've got a kid between the age of 16 and 24 and they're looking for a job, it is the biggest unemployment bracket that is going up because they're having a hard time finding a job, those new grads. So we're very, very data dependent, and I want you to know that every time there's a strong economic report that comes out, typically what happens is rates rise. It's because investors want to play the short-term stuff, they don't like the long-term stuff. And then if, when the economy slows down like those jobs reports showed and there were revisions, rates go down. That's because, something's wrong with the system. We want the safe haven of long stuff. That's us. So when things are negative, that's when we get rates that come down. And that's kind of the way things have happened. Now, I'm going to talk about the spread, not this kind of spread. I'm going to talk about a spread for you. And I'm only talking about this because this is the meatiest thing, hard to understand, but when there's this love affair that happens between 10-year treasuries and mortgage rates. That every time when 10-year treasuries go up, mortgage rates typically go up. When they go down, mortgage rates go down. It dates back to 1971. And this is the spread. This is where the 10-year treasury is, and this is what mortgage rates are all the time. You can see it vacillates a lot. This is it vacillating a lot versus the Fed meets only 8 times per year. So you can see how much interest rates change. And this is the average difference between the two lines going back to 1971 is 1.75. So whatever the 10-year is, you can add 1.75. And you can see this is 1.75 going all the way back to 2007. This was the Great Recession. You can see when we went into the Great Recession, there was all of a sudden a whole bunch of lenders that said, yeah, you know what? I think that there's a problem with me making money and we're gonna lose our shirt. So the spread got really big. And the spread got really big, this was COVID, got really big, and then it actually dipped below it in 2021, which is why we had such great rates in 2021. We got down into the 2s. And then the Fed started jacking up rates from 3.25% all the way up to 7.37% is what we experienced. And that was because they kept on jacking up the short-term rate because of inflation, and that's where we got this big zoom. And look how large it was, bigger than the Great Recession. That's how big this was, which meant that rates were a lot higher because they thought everybody's gonna refinance because we told everybody to date the rate, marry the house. Yeah. So they thought the same thing, and in order to make a profit, you have to hold your loan for 2 years. If everybody's gonna refinance, they want extra profit, so the spread gets bigger. So that's why they were charging more and making a lot because nobody was able to refinance. And you can see over time, the spread's gotten better. That was great, that was COVID, and that right there is where we are right now. And you can see this is the spread over time. This is the average spread going back to 1971. We're well above it. We've been above it ever since the Fed jacked up rates. And it got really high up here. The spread got giant, 3.1. It's supposed to be at 1.7 on 5. I'll show you what that means. And you can actually see in 2025, slowly but surely, the spread's even been getting better compared to 2024. In 2024, it got better. And the same thing in 2025, it got better from May on. It really got a lot better. Spread is getting there. We're at 6.37% as of this morning. And if we had the spread of last year up here, we would have an interest rate today of 6.72%. And that's because the spread's actually gotten better. So you don't even know it, but we have better rates. And the better rates are because the spread got better, and they will continue to get better from here. So which means that next year at this time, we should be right at 6%, given where the 10-year treasury hasn't done much over the last year, but the spread's got better, so we have better interest rates. If we were at 2023, we would have interest rates at 7.11% right now, given that spread. And that's why we were stuck in these high rates because of these high, know that the spread's getting better behind the scenes. If you ever hear that term, this is what it's all about. And so I look at 10-year treasuries. This is one of the sites that I look at, CNBC. I look at it every day. A week from Friday, when you wake up, you can go to CNBC, see what's happening with bonds, and you'll know right away if it's a negative jobs report, all of a sudden you will see this thing turn red. And when it's red, and that's what happened with the last jobs report, it was down like 0.14. That meant that rates are coming down, especially 0.1. When it's 0.006, that means rates are doing pretty much nothing. And this was taken as of last night, this morning, they're actually up 0.5. So 0.05, which means that rates probably went up. But when it's in the green, you don't like it. When it's in the red, you like it. And that's where it's at right now. It was in the green. And so this was as of this morning, 6.37. And you can see what's happened with rates. Slowly but surely, we fell. Last year we fell, at this time we fell really sharp. We didn't really fall sharp until we get the jobs report that brought us down here. But then you can see that it's recouped since with CPI, and when the Fed actually met and talked, Jerome Powell ruined our interest rates. Because the day before he met, it was at 6.13%. He talked and he didn't like how low rates were getting, so he sounded a little bit too hawkish and like they're not gonna do much. That's BS. He also said in there that we're all perfectly fine with zero added employment, and that's a lie. Because I don't know about you, but if you're running like a business and you have a P&L of 0, that doesn't give you a lot of wiggle room. You want a little bit of positive there. So he was lying because that's what he likes. They like to do because they like to manipulate markets, and that's a strategy. But what am I praying for? What am I praying for? What's the rate I want? I used to say 5.5. That's not what I want anymore because we've been stuck for too long. 6% exactly. That's what I want. So we're a little bit high. I want to be right at 6%. 6% is like this golden rate. And the reason I go to church every single Sunday, get down on my knees, and I'm praying for 6%. Why am I praying for 6%? I'm praying for 6% because it will unlock a lot more demand, but once we get into the 5s, it will unlock too much demand because everybody's psychologically. The last time we were in the 5s was when? 37 months ago, August of 2022. So it's been such a long time that once we get into 5s, that will sell itself. And then there'll be a lot of millennials and Gen Zs that will jump in because a lot of them haven't been able to purchase, and they will purchase the entry level. And the entry level will get stuck and it will be like the way it was during the pandemic. We don't want that. We don't want the everybody rushing in at the same time because now you got multiple bids and things like that. I want to do it in baby steps. Get down to 6, let's get used to it, then slowly make our ways down into the 5s. That's what I pray for, exactly. That scenario, it's just so you know. Do you have any questions right now before we move on? Yeah.
Can you elaborate on how treasury bond works and the impact it has on the youth?
Yeah, so the treasury bond works like this. They're looking at when there's negative or positive news, there's more of an appetite, and they want to be first. They're investors, so they want to be first to prognosticate where things are going to go. So right when a negative report comes out, all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of people that are going, uh-oh, things are really going to hell in a handbasket. We're going to dive into it. But long term, it kind of floats to where it needs to be, which is why we slowly but surely made our way down here, because we know that the economy is cooling and the jobs are cooling. So that's why we've had this float down with rates, as well as it's not like diving down, so that spread got better too. So the way the 10-year treasury works is just that they're looking at the appetite of where they think that for this long-term stuff, that holding it, they don't want to get stuck with anything, that they're trying to look at, okay, I'm gonna buy here where it's high before the economy cools down too much and everybody gets in. So they're trying to time it. It's just like other stocks, but this is the timing of when the economy cools or heats up. So that's kind of how it works. And the pricing works based upon the appetite of everybody at the same time. If everybody wants it at the same time, you see rates come down. And that's why the appetite, when those reports come out, all of a sudden everybody's looking at bonds, boom, they're hitting it, and then the bond rate, the return on it goes down. You understand that? Yeah. Any other questions before I move on?
I'm curious, and I don't know that you know this, but how much influence does AI have over their decisions?
If you're an economist like me, true, you're not looking at AI. I look at AI to help me with if I'm having writer's block, things like that. Yeah, and if I have a question that I don't know the answer to right away off the top of my head, but I know I can do the research to find it, AI will do the research really fast, but then what I'll do is I'll actually ask it to cite the sources so that I can go to the actual source and see it. But it's way faster than Google. It will do a way better job of finding exactly what I need and go to the source at that point. because you got to consider the source, because some knucklehead YouTuber that put something out, and that's now an AI, because it's just taking the aggregate of everything that's out there. So you can't. We all know it. We talk about it. Economists talk about it. It's not. AI helps in crunching numbers. It actually helps in formulating Excel spreadsheets and complicated formulas and things like that. It's shortcuts. It's actually, I don't see it as job replacement. I see it as job enhancements. That's really ultimately the way I see AI. I don't see it as all of a sudden a whole bunch of people. That's not why people from ages 18 to 24 aren't getting hired. They're not getting hired because all these firms are wondering, where's the economy going? I'm keeping everybody I have, but I'm not hiring anybody new. That's what's really going on with that job bracket. So, yeah.
Okay.
One more question, we'll move on.
Yeah, when you make your report
Yeah.
based on the geographic areas, do you use NAR housing forecast for your reference?
No. Although I'm meeting Lawrence Yoon a week from Sunday. He's the chief economist of, we're eating dinner together. He's coming to Orange County. So we're gonna go to Newport Beach and eat dinner together, because that's where he's staying. But I'll look at everything. As a matter of fact, they released closed sales data today, and they released their inventory numbers. I use those. That's what I use. But I'm not gonna infer what they're gonna do, because they actually, a lot of what they say is a little grandstanding, trying to prop up the real estate market. That's not what I'm about. I'm about properly setting expectations. So that's the way that I want to be as right as I possibly can. So, the housing market. Let's talk about the housing market. There are 5 seasons to the housing market. The number 1 season is spring. Number 1, even here in snowbird areas. Number 2 is summer. Number 3 is fall. That's where we are right now. Number 4 is winter, slowest season, holidays. Holidays are like coming up right now. It's 3 months from today is a big day. It's the 25th of December. That's 3 months from today. So it's coming fast. If you don't know, by the time we get to mid-November, that's the end of the fall market. We begin the holiday market, and that lasts from mid-November to mid-January. Slowest period as far as new pending sales activity and number of homes coming on the market. Fewest number of homes come on the market in December, then it's November. So know that's coming. So do a lot of your stuff right now, and then go drink some spiked eggnog. There you go. And here we are, we're in the fall. And as far as the fall is concerned, it's supply slowly falls and demand slowly falls typically. You're doing something a little bit different. And here, that's across the United States. I'll tell you what's going on here. You guys actually tend to go up a little bit and demand goes down a little bit, so your speed of the market slows a little bit. That's typically what happens, because your peaks come a little bit later here. And there's a lot of people that still come on the market because it's now gonna start to, supposed to cool off. It hasn't really cooled off much. We're experiencing 90-degree weather. I was doing my first forecast 2 days ago, and it was 91 degrees and it was outside. I was wearing a suit. So, United States total housing inventory. This was released today, did not update it. It actually went down slightly from 1,550,000 down to 1,530,000. So not a big giant change, but it means that we peaked across the country, and it's gonna come down for the rest of the year, because each one of these hills is a year. This is taken from National Association of Realtors, July of 1982, goes all the way back to then, and this is the number 1 reason we're not gonna crash. This is, you just print this puppy out. That's why I say key takeaway, keep this, and just pull this out to every knucklehead that says that we're gonna crash. Because this will tell you that we're not gonna crash, because we do not have a supply glut where we have 4 million homes on the market for 3 years straight. 06, 07, 08, prior to the Great Recession, we already knew we had a problem. And if you were in real estate back then, we knew we had a problem. It was evident, because there was 5 homes for sale on every street. Now, versus today, we have a supply scarcity issue. Yes, we have a lot more homes than we've had the last few years, but you guys do not have 5 homes available for sale on every street. That's not the way that it's working. So yes, we went really down low, but these lows that we hit down here, I have never seen them before, and nobody has. Because January of 2022, we hit an all-time low for the country, which is way down here. You can see that going back to 1982, we have not experienced anything like that, and we have the population is way more right now. So this is Clark County's active inventory. It just goes back to 2022, and this is where we are right now. We actually exceeded 2022 right now, as far as where our number of homes available are concerned. You can see it looked like we were gonna come down, and then within the last few weeks, all these people had said it was hot, but it's getting better. In September, started coming on the market, and you started building an inventory again, because you're placing more homes on the market than demand, and more homes on the market than we should be. So this is where we are right now. Today, 10,568 actually went up 2%, up 174 homes. This actually, it's not gonna be like what you see in the MLS. It's Clark County, plus I add Mesquite. Mesquite's part of Clark. So if I'm doing all of Clark County, I merged the two, because you guys only have like 40 on the market, and there's way more than that over in Mesquite. It's like 300 and some. Last year, 7,412, that's 30% less. That's the purple line. The blue line was 2 years ago. That's 51% less. That's where nothing came on the market. This, really quick, in a nutshell, 2023, in 2022, we went from 3% interest rates to over 7%. So as a result, everybody, when it went that fast, said, I'm not moving.
Yeah.
And so nobody moved, and then that's what happened. We had low demand, but nobody was moving, and our inventory actually sunk, and then barely rose that year. Then the following year, 2024, the purple line, more people came on the market. It's been a while, so more now gonna come on the market, and that's where we built this inventory, same demand. This year, same demand, and yet actually a little bit less for a while there. And we zoomed up higher and built this inventory this year, because demand has changed, way more homes coming on the market on a monthly basis. And this is where you guys like to peak, between August and the end of September. That's where you guys like to peak. Looked like you guys were gonna hit that peak. I thought that was gonna happen, and then zoom, you guys took off again. Looks like you guys are gonna peak into October now. And go up a little bit and then come down. Follow the trajectory of 2022 and have more homes than we started down in 2023. So this lovely family got married, they had kids, they bought a house, they did everything right. Their kids are getting older, they ran out of room, and they're not moving. You guys know why, right? Explain it. Interest rates. So they're kind of like, people call it locked in. A lot of people make that decision. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to spend double for my house. So I call it hunkering down. And this is in Nevada, 20%. And I updated this, it came out this morning, and I updated it on the plan. So just so you know, these are brand new, fresh. This is through the second quarter of 2025. I downloaded from the National Mortgage Database. It's the prettiest Excel sheet you'll ever see. It goes on forever. And has a whole bunch of ways to look at lending. But the number of people that have an interest rate at 5% or lower, it should say 80%. I don't know why it says.
Yeah.
That's like backwards. What did I do? Let's see. I will fix the slide when I get it to you. Nevada is at 71% for up here. Then it's 52. Then it's 20. So I don't know what I did. A little I only had 4 hours sleep last night. So I'm working on it. I apologize.
Drinking on the plane.
So there we go. I was on a plane, obviously, and I did not drink anything other than coffee. So it's 71% have an interest rate of 5% or lower, 52% have an interest rate of 4% or lower, and 20% have an interest rate of 3% or lower. That's 1 out of every 5. And this is updated through the second quarter of 2025. And who in this room has interest rate at 3% or lower? See, yeah, look at that. It's me. Me.
I'm winning.
Love it. So of those people that just raise their hand, who is planning on moving in the next couple of years? It's okay. And you're allowed to put up your hand. Because, you know why? It's been over 3 years since last time we were in the 5s. So when are we gonna get down to the 5s? Who knows? I'm tired of waiting. Some people are tired of waiting. Waiting is lame if it's been 37 months. How long do you have to wait to be able to do something? So you can actually see this in the numbers. I told you the blue line is 2023. Very few homes came on the market, and in April of 2023, it was the same number of homes that came on the market as we placed on the market during April of 2020 when we were in a lockdown. That's how few people came on. Then in 2024, the purple line, more people came on, and then the red line was this year. And this year was looking pretty normal until recently. And you can see that it brought its way down to where we're matched with last year at this time. And the reason that is happening is because there's a lot of negative news and a lot of negative podcasts and a lot of negativity about our real estate market. Now everybody as a result is going, fine, then I'm not gonna place my home on the market. And a lot of people are canceling too, and they're going, I don't need to sell my house, because there aren't that many people that are truly in pickles that have to sell. And we actually have, right now, we're up 6% compared to last year, an extra 3,115 home for sale signs. And we're up 23% compared to the blue line, that's an extra over 10,000 for sale signs. And in 2023, we placed 28% fewer homes on the market than the average prior to the pandemic at 17, 18, and 19. And in 2024, it was down 16%, and in 2025, it's down 7%. So just so you know, and we should be placing more homes on the market right now compared to if it was normal, compared to 2017, 18, 19, because in Vegas, you guys are building a whole heck of a lot of homes. So if you just take it through, if 1 out of every 5 people, or 1 out of every 10 people move, and now you have more homes, then we should have more that are coming on, because there are a lot more. So know that these are skewed, and nobody understands it except for nerdy economists like me, and I'm sharing it with you. So you look at these things, and every time they say it, I go, yeah, we're off 7%, but we built a lot more homes. So we're not even placing as many homes right now that we did prior when we had fewer homes to sell that were even built. So low demand. So we have low supply versus low demand. And low demand is, you can see this. This is prospective home buyers who say they expect prices and interest rates to fall and are waiting until then to buy a new home. It's growing. There are 75% that are just waiting on the sidelines. They're just waiting for rates to come down. That's why I said 6% is great. You can imagine if they got into 5s, a lot of these 75% would move in. I can prove it because this was another thing that was done, and another survey that was done, and the highest mortgage rates U.S. home buyers say they'd accept on their next home purchase. This is the first quarter of 2025. This is the third quarter. And you can see that we're right now close to 6%. It's now, it was 41% of those, now it's 52% would think about really purchasing. And if it got to 5.5, it just keeps on growing. When we were all the way up at 7%, look, these numbers are small, 16%, 14% right now. That's because they're waiting for rates to come down, and they believe that they can, and we're getting close to 6%, which is exactly where I want to be, that I pray for all the time. The Las Vegas demand, you can see 2022, and then it tanked. All of the markets have it way up here, and then they show you these. That's 2023, 24, and 25. It's my three-headed triplets or something like that. It's just, I don't like it. It's the same pending sales activity. It's actually, this one in 2025 is a little bit muted. Look, we went underneath, so we did fewer closed sales this year, but we're making our way with lower rates. All of a sudden, look, we're pumping activity back in, but it came so late. We're in the fall market, and it's finally coming. So we had to wait till September to finally get the rates that I want, that I've been praying for. That's a lot of prayers, a lot of Sundays.
Pray harder.
Yeah, join my prayer. So today we're at 2176. It's up 3%, or up 66 pending sales in the last 2 weeks. So pending sales are actually going up. Last year we were at 2261. That's up 4%, or up 85 pending sales more than where we are, but we were far below last year. We crossed over 2 years ago, and we actually have more homes, because 2 years ago we were at 2,095, which is 4% less, or 81 fewer pending sales. And so this is where we peak. All markets typically peak between March and the end of April. That's it. This is the best time to come on, and you can see, especially in Vegas, it keeps on. You can see the slope, and the slope is more pronounced. This is 2022. Boy, did it slow, but it really is the peak in a normal. We have very muted demand. Just know that it would probably, the way that curves normally work is like this, and then they come down like that. That's normal curve. We just haven't had normal curves because we don't have that many buyers in the atmosphere right now. Where are we going from here? Looks like we're going to go up, and as long as we remain below 6.5%, we're going to probably even outperform last year. And we had those low rates for 47 days last year that fed the rest of this, and that's what it's kind of looking like we're going to do this year for the rest of the year. But I hope we stay below 6.5%. We have an awesome beginning to 2026 that a lot of people don't expect, and nobody's talking about except for us, because that's what we're seeing. So what is the true speed of the market? Place your home on the market. When are you going to become a pending sell? Not when are you going to close, when are you going to become a pending sell? And you can see where we're at right now. It's not as slow as it was in 2022. And we're slowing down, but it's going the right direction right now. And you can see this, that it looked like it was going to keep on going up and then zoom, and then all of a sudden demand started going up because we had rates that came down. And our market got a little bit hotter in the last couple of weeks. You don't notice it, but it stopped getting worse. That's good. That's what we want. We want those rates below 6.5%. And that's where we're at. And the expected market time is 146 days for the whole market absorbing it. In all of Clark, that was down 2 days in the 2-week period. Last year we were at 98 days. And that's the purple line. And 2 years ago we were at 74 days. That's the blue line. And you guys can see that back in 2022, when I first started this report, you had an expected market time of 20 days for the entire Clark County. That is an unhinged, unhealthy market where you guys are writing the dumbest offers. I can prove it. Who in here wrote an offer above $25,000 above the asking price? Anybody in this room? Yeah, okay. What, how much?
Well, I guess I received an offer one time, I think it was like 70 grand above.
70 grand above. Do I have anybody above 70 grand to receive? You should try my Orange County market. It's dumb. $150,000 when I did this 2 days ago, above the asking price. That is dumb, and that's not healthy. I want you to know. That's what I was actually praying against that. I was saying, we gotta have rates go up. This is ridiculous. So I didn't like it. It's called unhealthy, unhinged. It's like eating like Super Bowl every single day for 2 years solid. It wasn't good. And this is the Las Vegas expected market time. It's between February and the end of April is typically the hottest point. And it goes, you guys are right when you say Super Bowl, because that's right here, but it's typically somewhere in between here. And you can see what's happened with expected market time. We were in like 88 days, and this is where we are right now. And where's it gonna go from here? Looks like it's gonna go up a little bit because you guys are starting to place more homes on the market for some weird reason. You shouldn't do it, no snowbird activity here. There aren't many Canadians looking to buy here either. So the market feels a little sluggish in a lot of areas, but there are some areas and neighborhoods that feel more balanced. And there are some houses that feel like this. And I already explained it, where it comes on the market and generates 5 offers and it sells above asking price, and they go, how did that sell above asking price? And you can see this is after all the text of our reports, we have this, and this comes out, like I said, every 2 weeks, and you can see that this gives you the actives of every city in Clark County. What's demand look like? What's expected market time? What was the market time 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago? And what's the medium active list price? So this is Las Vegas, and I'll tell you, last year at this time we were at 103, this year we're at 148. This is a key takeaway. This is what you give your clients so they see this, and then you say, but this is my track record. I sell a lot faster than the marketplace. This is why you utilize this, because it's the true market speed based upon the absorption of the market and pending sales activity. Henderson was at 98 last year, it's at 141. North Las Vegas has always been the hottest on my board. 67 last year, 109 right now. Boulder City, 94 last year, 212. Mesquite, 95, 217. Laughlin, 180, 310. It's just not, it's a sluggish market in Laughlin. So my market overview really quick, luxury. Luxury for you guys is 750,000 plus, top 10% of the market. I snap it at the end of every year. The top 10% of all closed sales. So that's 750,000 plus. Inventory is at 2137, that's up 38% compared to last year. Demand is 259, it's down 6%, down 16 pending sales. So you can tell luxury is a lot slower. It's at 248 right now versus 169 last year at this time. Good to know. I would get this in front of every single one of my luxury listings that I went on. So they have a different expectation because there are different price ranges. They're definitely not in the best price range. And you can see price ranges all over the board. This was the hottest last year. Looks like it's 0 to 400,000, 4 to 500 last year. Right now they're duking it out. And 5 to 600 too is a little bit higher. Then it keeps on growing. And you can see that if you've got a 3 million plus property, it's on the market for a long time. 758 days. And this is, you gotta know the difference between, I have this, it's further down the report, the very bottom, and it's the attached versus detached and by price. And, oops, I know what that was.
Batteries.
I should have done that on the plane. I was supposed to plug it in. It's only, I'm working on a low battery. It's what, we're gonna plug this in. Oh, there it is. It's actually not much. So we're we're just about to get into the forecast, and then we will be done, and you can ask any more questions.
So do you think this is a good time to put a house on the market or not?
If it was me, if it's priced right, absolutely. But they have to definitely listen to you on price. They have to be right on their money on price. Otherwise, I'm waiting until February to place my home on the market. If it was me, Valentine's Day is when I want to come on. That's the best time of the year as far as what I would do if I was in your shoes. I'd actually let them know. If you're not going to have the best price out there, and we're going to spend a lot of time talking about price. And while this boots up, I'll tell you the thing about price, because we're going to get to it. And it's all about properly pricing your home. And I call it bullseye pricing. And bullseye pricing is super important for us to do, and that means spend as much time as we can. I don't care, spend all day. Go to lunch with them, talk about it, go back to their house, sit at their dining room table, talk about it, until they arrive at the right price, so that they sell and you earn a commission. And the way you do that is by going over every single comp, because if they don't, they will net less. I've talked about that before. So,
Can you predict when groceries are gonna go down?
yeah, it's not. That's deflation. We will not experience deflation.
We need some deflation.
That is not what we're going to experience. There we go, easily detected. Okay, there we go, sorry for the pause, and we will start from here. Okay, so I told you there's a difference between the attached and detached. Attached right now is 165 expected market time day, and detached is at 138. So attached homes are slower pretty much across the country compared to detached. And we should know that, because we should get that in front of them. There's lots of reasons for it. It started in Florida and has hit everywhere else. It's all about reserves and HOA dues and things like that. In a sluggish market, they don't sell as quick. And that's what we're experiencing right now. And this is luxury. Number of luxury sales above 750,000 plus, up 2% or up 42 closed sales compared to last year. So we've actually still done more, even though overall all price ranges are down 8%, down 18-16 so far this year. And this just tells you the sales to last price ratio, or actually this is original list price ratio. The number that sold below the original list price, 73%. The number that sold at the original list price, 14%. The numbers that sold above, 13%. Not a lot, but still, that's a little over 1 out of every 10 houses goes above asking price. So when your buyer gets that, they need to know that that property is going to go above asking price, because there are 5 offers on it, and it's supply and demand. So, and then August cash is 26% of all homes that close for cash. And it's about the same all the time. We're just doing fewer deals. Once rates go down, more deals are put into the pipe. Cash doesn't change, so it becomes a smaller percentage. It's just a bigger percentage because they don't really care about interest rates. And this came out yesterday, new home sales. And look at this. It was the gigantic beat. And the reason why we did all of a sudden a whole bunch of closed sales for the month of August was because rates had been coming down, and they're trying, it's less expensive when rates come down for builders to do all their magic of making rates go down. They like it, they've been frustrated, but a lot of buyers have been biting at the lower rates that they're able to offer, and that's why we had this jump, which is a precursor to what, if we stay below 6.5% for a while, we're gonna get the same bump in closed sales activity in November and December type of thing. So that's what we're all waiting for, and what this guy's praying for. So this is the housing starts and completions. So this is starts and completions. Starts is coming down, completions is starting to come down, and we're gonna be building fewer houses right now while they're competing with somebody residential resale. And this is the months of supply. Know that the months of completed supply, which is, who cares about the total? We're just completed, that's the red. It's the highest since 2012. So we have a lot of completions, which is why builders have been coming in here saying, we've got a lot of standing stuff and we're offering a commission and we can do lots of different things, just bring us the buyer, that type of thing. And this is Zillow House Price Index. I know I said the Z word, but they are all the way up to September. I like that. And it's home price indexes are better than medians. And this is where we are year over year. We're up 0.1% year over year in Clark County right now. Through, this is through August, actually, not September, we're in September. And it's down 0.4% month over month. Now, 0.4%, that's not 4% down, and that's 1 month. So nobody should be expecting values to cave. So just understand that. What's really happening, we're not having a crash. It's supply and demand. I told you demand isn't changing, and what are we doing? We're adding more and more each year of supply. So it's made it so that it's slowly but surely gone like this until finally, it's now in the favor of buyers. That's all. And then all of a sudden, rates come down. What happens to the demand side? Boom, more demand, it starts to even out, and it can even go the other way if we stay there for a long period of time. It's that simple. If we get into the 5s, a whole bunch come on here too fast, I don't like it. I already talked about bullseye pricing. Who's reduced their asking price in this room? 45% of everything available in Clark County has reduced their asking price right now. So which means we have a lot of overpriced properties. I made this in 2022, and I had to dust it off, and I'm bringing it around again. My sign company, RASS, that they made this for me. I used to represent buyers and sellers, so they made this for me. But the reason why I have this is because there are a lot of overpriced properties out there, and I would actually utilize those. I've had a lot of people take pictures with it and utilize it in their marketing because they are trying to explain a story, especially with that report that's coming out next month. If you don't price your property right, you will net less. You'll throw away cash. So it's incumbent upon me to spend as much time as I can with you to arrive at the right price. Because Stephen Thomas from Reports on Housing said most people net less the more that they reduce the asking price. I don't want that to happen to you, Mr. and Mrs. Seller. So we got to come out with the right price because we only have one shot at a first impression, and we want that first impression to have the right price on it, so that we can actually sell, which is what we're here for. So that's the conversation that I would have. And so a lot of overpriced properties, and Clark County, the number of homes coming off the market, a lot of people don't have to sell, so they're just throwing in the towel right now. And we're at 79%, or 6,103 more than last year at this time. And we're not gonna have a crash in pricing. You need 3 things, I've talked about it already. Available number of homes, they have to be a glut. We don't have it. And then the second one is you have to have a very, very low demand. We have it. But you have to have all 3 things, not one of the 3. And it's kind of like the recessions. We follow like 9 different metrics. You have to have all 9. And we haven't had all 9.
What's the third one?
The third one is delinquencies, foreclosures, and short sales. We have more, but we don't have that many. And we're not gonna get that many. We're still dealing with a low national delinquency rate, one of the lowest in decades. Know that. Know that we're increasing more, but we're just going back towards normal. This is the number of closed distress sales in Clark County. And if you see this, we had 15 for the month of August. And we had 81 in, this should be over here, in 2019 at the same time period. So know that. Just know that we had a lot more back in the day. And I don't know why all of a sudden this decided to stop, but let's get into my 2026 forecast. I'm gonna do this real quick. Okay, and so my 2026 forecast. Like that? Huh? I don't know. It's my same slide. I've never found a better slide than this because this really depicts the way it is for anybody that's forecasting. So I have to be honest. It's not crystal clear. And there's still a lot more of 2025 to go, but we have a pretty good idea where we're gonna go. And I use the same slide, I just reverse it. It goes left this year, next year we'll go right. Let's see. I will switch it. That's what I do. And my 2026 concerns, let me just get my other phone, this one. So my 2026 concerns are as follows. First is uncertainty. She's been on my slide forever. Because if anybody pretends that they know what's going on, they're lying. Federal Reserve chaos. I'm not, please leave the Federal Reserve alone, although that's where we're going down this rabbit's hole. Looks like we're headed right for it. The chaos will create waves in the marketplace, and you could see jumps in our interest rates because of it. I'm not liking that. It's not political, it's just leave them alone. That's the way the world wants it, that's the way investors want it, and all economists other than knuckleheads agree with us. Labor market strengthens. That's a concern because if we get the labor market strengthens, we have inflation going up, which is where it's going right now, we'll get higher rates, and they could actually increase rates. And then inflation rises and stays elevated. That's another concern of mine. That's from the tariffs. We're already starting to see it in CPI. And I don't know if you've been out there buying different things. I had to buy a new pool filter and it was more because of it. Rates rise and remain elevated during the spring. That's what happened this year. I don't want that this year. I'm tired of that. That's what we had in the last couple of years. We've been dealing with that kind of thing, especially this year. And then hunkering down trend remains elevated. I don't think we're gonna have a problem in Clark. I'm worried about some of these other knuckleheads. San Diego's the worst. For some reason, they don't like to place homes on the market and everybody's staying. Administration policies, no, not politics. There's the politics, they go into our mortgage rates and things like that. And the more that you mess with different levers and all that stuff, the more that we get volatility with rates. And then global turmoil, there's a lot going on around the globe. I don't have to get into it all. The last thing is the attack on data. Don't attack data. I did a YouTube on this a couple weeks ago. Go watch that to understand why. From a purely economic point of view, they're a bunch of geeks that run these things. They're like utilities. They're not trying to fix anything. We know that. You might have an idea that you think it's one way. It's just because of what you're hearing. Go listen to what I have to say. You'll understand it. I'm not going to go into it right now because this is more important. My 2026 forecast, inventory to start the year, 10,000 homes. It's a lot. We're not going to come down that far for the rest of the year because you guys like to keep on climbing and then remain elevated and then come down. So we're going to start with a lot of homes, a lot more than the start of this year. Normal housing season, spring is the best, then summer, and so on. Distress rises slightly. No wave of distress. It's not going to happen, so know that. There's not going to be a wave. There will be more than this year, but who cares? It's not a lot. So you shouldn't be working with anybody that's looking for short sales or foreclosures. Or if you are, then they better have a very sharp pencil because they're going to be competing with people. Hunkering down trend, no longer an issue in here. I was able to put that here. That means that there's a lot of people. It is an issue, but you have more stuff that's coming on the market because you have a lot more that's been built. So you have extra homes that are coming on the market, adding to your inventory. Automatically and a lot of these people bought with three-year buy downs or 2-year buy downs, and now they're dealing with a higher rate, and a lot of them are selling. So know that, because they can't refinance into a better rate. Luxury market strengthens by spring, cools the second half of the year. If you're luxury, come on during the first half of the year, it's always better. Water's better. Interest rates from 5 3/4 to 7%. That's a smaller range than I had last year. So scenario 1, there's 3 scenarios. This is my base case. This is most likely. Economy continues cooling to start 2026. Rates drop and they stay, which they have been right now, between 6 and 6.5% with duration. The longer we're here, the better our market. This is our base case. I think we're gonna have a stronger beginning to the spring market than what we had this year. And rise inventory to only 11,000 homes. Not adding a lot because we have more demand. Picks up due to lower rate environment. And the spring is similar to 2025 and second half a bit stronger. Because we actually had an okay spring and year over year, but then as the year progressed, it got sluggish. We're gonna have a better second half of the year for 2026. And then closed sales up between 6 and 9%. Easy to go because we came down. Easy to come back up 6 to 9%. Home values in 2026 between flat and up 3%. Because right now we're going negative. Instead it'll be flat, up a little bit. It just depends upon if we hit 6% and stay at 6%, that's where I really want to be, we'll hit that 3%. And then scenario 2 is economy is resilient to start 2026 like this year. Rates stuck between 6.5 and 6 3/4 with duration. I don't want to be there. Because if we are, we rise all the way up to 13,500 homes on the market, and demand similar to 2025 with the breeze rate. I don't want that. You guys are gonna have really a slow, sluggish market, more so than this year. And a sluggish market with plenty of seller competition, be careful on pricing. I don't see this happening, but it could happen. Now my third scenario, what happens here is buyers not willing to stretch and close sales between down 1 to up 2%. I don't know why I put up 2%. No, that's closed sales, because home values, yeah. Closed sales about the same as this year, maybe up a little bit, easy to beat this year. Home values in 2026 between down 5 and down 3%. So we don't want this, because you are actually gonna get values coming. And down 3% for a year is not a lot. It's not happening in 1 minute, it's happening over the course of the year. That's 15 grand that it goes down over a course of a year for a $500,000 home. Scenario 3 is labor market breaks to start 2025, which could happen, which rates drop because the Fed will be all in and will cut more than they said that they were. And then we get a drop between 5 3/4 and 6 with duration. Can you imagine that? I don't want it. I didn't pray for it. I don't want scenario 2 or 3, but this is a possibility. You have to understand that. And winter peaks in inventory at 11,500 at the start of the year and starts to go down from there. So it's kind of like 2023. And demand accelerates and plenty of buyer competition, especially in entry level. Those are the people that are gonna get hammered. Bidding wars begin in the spring. Entry level is where we're gonna see most of that. And maybe the range is right above it. Closed sales up 10% to up 12%. Home values up 4 to 7% year over year. So that's it. I do a housing brief every Thursday or Friday. It's not gonna be today, it's gonna be tomorrow after my kids run their cross country meets. Reportsandhousing.com is where you go to YouTube. I have a bunch of them there. What's that?
The YouTube, you're on YouTube?
Oh yeah, every week we put up something new. So Reports on Housing on YouTube. And Let's Talk Housing, Reports on Housing, wherever you like to listen to podcasts. I have a podcast that comes out every other week. And we have text messages that come out every single week. So you don't have a report next week, they'll still come out this week. And it gives you what's happened with actives, demand, and expect market time. If you sign up today, you need to opt in. If you've already signed up and don't get these, let me know. And we have a new report called the Las Vegas Sold Report. You must be a subscriber, and this does every city and gives the sales to original price ratio, how many sold above, how many at, how many below. It's just that one slide that I showed you. It helps out quite a bit. And we're coming up with the lease report too, so you'll soon get 4 reports every single month. And reportsandhousing.com, that's where you go to subscribe. The most recent one that came out is called The Fall Market Takes a Turn. And it comes out every 2 weeks. And there's a whole bunch of links at the bottom for you to repurpose it, even a video to watch. There's a lot of ways to repurpose it. Tons of social media posts, because I've got Gen Z that said you need all shapes and sizes. It's $20 per month or $200 per year. First month free, you can sign up today. Anybody want to sign up that's didn't sign up? Two people in here. Anybody else? Even thinking about it. Remember, you can give it a test drive. You can cancel it day 29. It's no big deal. Everybody should at least give it a test drive. I'm not kidding you. It'll behoove you. And I told you, it will be no skin off of my back at all.
So I'm already a subscriber.
Okay, good. That's awesome.
I'll do it online.
Get some more. So fill this out, get it back to me.
Market knowledge, you know?
We've never had a breach in any credit card. I've been doing this since 2011. If you have a major problem, call me on it, and one of the kids will call you. I have no problem with that. So give it a test drive, cancel after if you don't like it.
We can do it online, you said, right?
If you do it online, it's that free month. That's the problem. You'd have to text me. I'll give you a card afterwards.
Okay, I think I'll do it anyway.
And because here's the thing, a lot of people say, I'll scan it, I'll send it to you later. 1 out of about 1,000 people do that. So if you really want to make a difference for your business, do it now. That type of thing. I mean, it's one of those things, just so you guys know. And now, any other questions that you guys have? Because that's all I've got.
He just added Arizona.
I gave you guys a lot. I told you I would.
That might not be.
And I'll give you a copy of this report, just so you have it, so that you guys can look at it and take those key takeaways that I talked about, get those in front of buyers and sellers.
So the report is only the one you show, I think was one of the last slides.
Yeah.
Like,
This one.
Oh,
fall
okay, so
market
it's
takes a
kind of
turn.
like a newsletter, or.
Yeah, you can use it as a newsletter. It's gonna talk about, there's a chart that I create for every single one. I talk about what normally happens during the fall and what's gonna happen this fall, which is different. It's different this year. It's different because we have rates below 6.5%. So I have to tell the story. A lot of people don't believe me, but this is like factual data, and I can actually back it up with data, and that's why we put this thing together.
So we write in here Nevada since it's not on here as an option?
Is that my old one?
Yeah, because there's no Nevada on here. It's all California.
Mine says Clark County.
It's Clark. It's Clark right there.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Blind as a
Oh
bat.
my gosh, I bring the wrong ones. I'm pretty sure I got rid of all the old ones.
Didn't see it, sorry.
No, no problem. Yeah, you guys are in Clark. I know we're in Vegas. And in parentheses, I put Las Vegas.
Are we gonna get the slide of?
Yes, I'm gonna give you a copy of the slides. Oh, give me your cards too. Somebody gets, sorry, I'm gonna take this back on the plane. Would somebody like this? But you know, at least like you can put it up on your.
Put it in your office.
So if you want this, give me a card and I'll pick. Somebody will win this. I think it's pretty fun. So, do you have a card?
Collected by him?
All right, so we have one person in the hat, two people in the hat, three people in the hat, four,
The winner has to get her purse.
There you go.
five. The winner has to go get her purse. Why, she always wins? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, question.
So, is this your newsletter?
Thank you.
This is the newsletter that comes out. It's emailed out to you, so you'll receive it every 2 weeks.
You get it and then if I wanted to send that to, like on an email.
I would just, we have gift links, because it has to be low, it has to be the right size, and you can actually put it in whatever campaign it is to forward out, or you can just forward out this. Or you can forward, there's a lot of different ways to repurpose it. We show it in the video.
Okay. So is there your branding on there?
It says reports on housing. We have a Microsoft Word version that you can then copy, cut, paste, and do whatever you want, put your branding on, all that stuff.
All right, thank you.
How often did you say you're going to get?
Every 2 weeks, so it's 26 reports a year, so 2 months it'll come out 3 times. And then it's also, we have that sold report that just started, and we're also gonna start a lease report.
Do we all get all of those?
You'll get all of those. You'll receive 4 reports a month, and twice a year you'll receive 5. So here we go. We're gonna see who this is. She didn't go to get a card, right?
No.
Okay. All right, here we are. It is it, I'm gonna butcher this name.
Macrina.
Macrina, gosh.
Oh,
that's-
Macrina.
I was gonna say Macrina.
Oh,
Macrina.
I was gonna say Macrina.
Yay.
That's a pretty name. You get an overpriced
Oh.
sign. You have one for your client? Can you imagine going there? We're gonna talk about rent. Stick that puppy right up there on top of that for sale sign and have that conversation. That's what it's all about.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys are investing in your businesses. That's awesome. Thank you for investing in your business.
Stephen, awesome. Remember, no matter how you slice it, greatness is a choice. Let's go out there and be great.